think we're at a turning point, and I would say more of a fork in the road of two possible routes, and it's quite serious.
We're currently here in Brazil filming a documentary about coffee. I just felt like talking a little bit about the experience that I've been so far and like a little bit of everything.
So we're just about to go down and board. What are your thoughts?
Number one, I'm pretty scared for the flight, as usually. Robin has some pills, maybe I can try some to get some sleep for the first time ever on a plane. A bit more than 1 year ago we went to Uganda to film coffee plantations over there. And it's going to be really exciting to see how we are changing our workflow for this trip, what went well in Uganda and what could we improve and how we're going to do things differently. That's what I'm looking forward to most in the technical side. And then it's also going to be amazing to explore South America for the first time.
So, see you in Sao Paulo.
Yeah. What is happening?
They said we should use the aft entrance, but it's not open yet.
So after a pretty long, intense flight from Stockholm down to Sao Paulo, we headed into the cab, into the city to meet up with Lars at Coffee Lab, which was a nice little cafe for our first coffee, and then straight back into the car for a 3-hour ride up to the farm.
So this is where we are staying. Pretty cool. Good morning, guys.
Today we're heading up to meet one of our producing partners, Vanessa Murillo. And we're going to do both see your farm, of course, but then also do a lado, like a project with the farm, with the van at the farm. So we're going to do some cuppings, we're going to do some grading of green coffee, and there's going to be a bunch of producers here, so it's going to be a fun thing.
It's going to be a coffee party.
It's going to be a coffee party.
Yesterday we arrived to the airport in Sao Paulo, and today is the first day of start to explore this country when it comes to coffee. If the first trip last year was opening up my eyes to how coffee is being produced, I consider this to be my higher education in the subject, and I'm really looking forward to it.
The sniffing shot. Right?
Yeah. It's important to get the sniffing right.
Även om de har phantom power så är det liksom att de måste tydligen ha lite ström för att funka från början.
There's always new problems that you find out, and this time my Sennheiser Lav kit didn't work with the C70 because some issue with the phantom power that I haven't heard about. So we had to get that sorted before moving on.
Then you can also have coffee side by side from a different producer that is showcasing maybe what a good coffee is, and you'll see that year by year how quality increases as well.
And after learning a bit more about cupping, it was time for me and Robin to try it out for ourselves.
Får betygsätta mitt slurpande också.
Exakt.
Okej, så till dem.
Du har lite att jobba på när det gäller surplandet.
Okay.
And after that, it was time to interview Vanessa, the owner of this farm.
We are here in my family farms.
You describe what you do in a day.
So we came here with one question in mind. Will coffee survive in 2050? Together with Liquid Coffee Farms and FAF Coffee, we've traveled across regions, meeting the people behind the cup. So from seeing like the baby coffee plant all the way to the big fields, from farmers to the people sorting the coffee beans to extracting. Coming here to Brazil, I thought I already understood sustainability, that it was mostly about methods, techniques, certifications. But what I've learned is that it's really about connection between people and a purpose. Sustainability isn't just a checklist, it's a mindset.
Everybody knows what's happening with climate change, and in fact farmers are the ones seeing it firsthand. Drought, frost, hailstorms.
And later on we head onto a new road trip to a new farm with new people. That's kind of the whole story of this project. And of course Robin, well, it has kind of become a tradition now.
I thought I was covered by the sensors, but sensors don't take everything.
Seeing these lands, these people, these amazing farmers that are doing something different, it's so inspiring. And as a filmmaker, I feel like I really want to make the best out of it, each and every shot, because they're doing something amazing there.
Take a run in rural Brazil. This is amazing.
This is our last day at this farm. From a filmmaking perspective, this journey has been a huge evolution, at least for me, I think, from our trip to Uganda that we did last year. There's just been so much things that are different. Last year, like, as quickly as something popped up, like, you were filming, like, oh, wow, this is so cool. And then we have a headache when we're editing. But this time it feels like we have really like curated that, oh, we need these types of shots describing this, or okay, we need some more establishing shots, but we have already set our mind to why we're filming that shot before we press record. So it's not just a beautiful shot, but we know that it actually tells something as well. So with all of these scenes that we've captured during this trip, I think both me and Robin have learned more to slow down, to take those 10-15 minute pauses and go through our checklist of every shot that we need to take in a new scene. Have we really found everything that we need? Having those rounds of thinking while filming, I think, is something that we've learned a lot. So tomorrow we're heading to Rio and experiencing the big city.
Lars, får du plats?
Ja.
Ain't your first rodeo?
It kind of marks the end of this documentary trip. It's going to be exciting to see Rio. I've already started to look through things like on the evenings and stuff, and it feels like we've found something really interesting and really, really worth watching. And I'm so grateful for being able to do this trip. I think that it really pushes you as a filmmaker when you're out in the fields.
Robin, are you awake? Super awake. It's bright outside. We have daylight. 5:35.
Where are we going?
Going to Rio de Janeiro. My first time. Don't open until sitting.
And so, after a couple of days filming and hanging around at the farms, we headed back to Rio de Janeiro for a couple of days of vacation, enjoying Brazilian culture and the beach and everything that Rio has to offer. And it was so nice to have these extra days after this quite intense week.
Do they have my size?
I also stepped on the surfing board for the first time in my life, and yeah, we don't have any footage of that, thankfully. And we actually went to some really touristy stuff as well. Yeah, it's nice. You can be a tourist as well, and
On top of the Rio.
On top of Rio. Yeah.
Almost.
It was actually a pretty cool view from there.
Cheers.
Cheers. We did this instead of going all the way to the top because the top is all covered in a big cloud. So this is much better. Now we go into the cloud.
And after a couple of beers and caipirinhas, we headed down to the streets to hear some really cozy music playing at the street. And I wish we had these kinds of things back home in Sweden.
This is our last day here in
did it.
Brazil.
Nice.
12 days ago we were in Uganda thinking about how everything will be.
It's a lot of days.
Yeah. And a lot of impressions, lots of farmers meeting, lots of people.
Now we're ending it in style on Copacabana with this amazing view. And I feel pretty ready to go back home, actually. And I think we have really upped our game since the last trip we did to Uganda when it comes to the production. I think what I've seen from the material that we shot so far, it looks really good,
Yeah.
which makes me happy.
And that was my main goal. So,
Yeah.
and I feel confident that it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, we've been working a lot more structured. And last time we were running around with a camera, I had a camera, you had a camera, and then we just ended up having double shots of everything. This
Yeah.
time I've tried to not have a camera as much and more focus on the teamwork of
And seeing the bigger
the-
picture, being interested, asking all the questions.
and making the best out of one camera, because that takes two people actually.
Wrapping this up, I guess we both feel really thankful for being here.
Extremely.
Everything, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. I always wanted to go to Brazil, and now I've been to Brazil, and now I want to go back to Brazil, because we've seen like 2.5% of what this country has to offer. So
Yeah. It's really funny when we went on a 9-hour ride from the farm down to Copacabana, and it was a long drive, but as soon as you start zooming out on the map on the phone,
yeah,
and you see Sao Paulo and then Rio, and then you see
the rest.
the rest, it's just like
It's a really
insane.
huge country. I checked with ChatGPT, and if you could take a number of Swedens and put them into Brazil, you could fit 18.9 Swedens into Brazil.
Yeah,
That's a lot. So there's a lot more to see.
there's a lot more to see, lots more to come. Some
tuned for the
news for
next
the
time.
documentary when it's going to be released and everything,
Yeah,
but it's going to take a little while,
yeah, a couple of months.
which is kind of nothing.
Thanks for watching.